Never turn back, everyone. It's Deep Dive Zone, the Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. We are Team Shadow, consisting of Dev, Lauren, Matt, Sid, and Bruce. And we are here in our final episode of Shadow the Hedgehog. We're finally at the end of the game, and it pisses me off already because we had 10 potential endings, and then they went and made one that overwrites all of them.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, I mean, obviously some of this stuff has to have happened, but there's no one playthrough you can do to get all of it.
Right.
Indeed.
Oh, so that, well, yeah, what you
now's
meant
the
by
time for
overwrite
it.
is, yeah, it means none of them are possible. Right, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't know if now's the time for it, but that is something I'm really interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on, of where this ends up fitting in with the rest of the game. But I feel like we have to talk a little bit more about the end before we can really get into that, though.
Well, so we ended off on...
Who knows?
Last week, we ended off on Final Haunt versus Black Doom. And
Sure.
I put that there on purpose because I think that sensibly, it's a place where it makes sense that it would lead into the final story. Because you do have to end on the Black Comet. That much is true.
True.
Yeah. I do agree with that. I think this comes after whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like we said, none of the routes have a proper timeline of events that all fits together. It's always some mix. But anyway, we are at the Black Comet, and we are rushing toward Black Doom. Sonic and Eggman both are here. Eggman doesn't have, like, an Eggmobile. He's just running.
He just...
They want to get the
Well,
Eggman.
because presumably the egg dealer just got blown up, so...
I guess, yeah.
Maybe, but he doesn't have, like, just a, little Eggmobile? I don't know.
Yeah, I would think he has a room just full of, like, spare Eggmobiles.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of stuff blows up, like...
Oh, yeah, he could have an Eggmobile, that's true. I'm just saying that's why he doesn't have a big old mech. But...
Right.
But Black Doom, obviously, he's got the Chaos Emeralds, or rather, he's got the Chaos Emeralds from Shadow, and they're like, Shadow, give us the Chaos Emeralds. He's like, whoa. Shadow's like dumb.
Yeah, everyone wants them.
This starts off at a strangely comical note, actually, because most of the endings end pretty seriously, and so just to suddenly be like, "Oh, Shadow, give me the Chaos," or oh, "Shadow, give me the Chaos," "Shadow, give me the Chaos," and I can't do an Eggman voice. Just like whatever happened, some fight went down probably. Everyone lost except Shadow. He got the Chaos Emeralds, and now everybody wants the Chaos Emeralds, and they're just asking him for it. It's just wow. That's really what they chose to start off this with. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and Black Doom starts smacking his lips here instead of moving the plot along. I guess this is, you were talking about how, we get hints at what Doom is planning, and on the contrary, we don't want to eliminate humanity. And this is sort of the end point of that, where he has this waffle about how they don't want to kill everybody, they want to save them from themselves because humans are selfish? Question mark?
Yeah, this is Black Doom's attempt to win over Shadow.
One last time.
Everyone else has already said their piece, but Black Doom has a little more information to reveal. And so that's why he starts talking. Also because he really wanted his villain monologue. He hasn't had it yet.
True, he hasn't.
Yeah.
So,
hold on, wait, Black Doom's a villain? I thought he was a good guy. He's trying to help Shadow.
He's just...
sorry. Antagonist.
Lots of heroes have Doom in their name, okay?
Anyway,
yeah.
So yes, what you said is true. It's a little unclear exactly what he intends to do, but the way I interpret it was, we'll enslave the entire human race so they can't kill themselves, and in exchange we will siphon off their life force, but not in a way that like kills them outright. Probably just weakens them.
Mild
so
siphoning.
This is the worst trade deal I've ever heard. I hate this.
I mean,
you wouldn't trade
obviously
for a mild siphoning?
It's obviously terrible, but I love it's very cliche. But I do appreciate the attempt to make the villain that has the twisted mind, and they see themselves as good, even though they're just nuts.
It's just that it's kind of nonsense is my problem, because his methodology is still mostly killing people, and he says something like despair will lead them to true prosperity, which, like, what does that mean? The most I can think is that he's like,
are a bit
He's like a suicidal accelerationist giving his enemies motivation to kill him? What? I don't know. And
Yeah.
he's saying that humans are like as livestock for the Black Arms. That's the verbiage he uses.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we'll see later that like he just wants them to eat people.
Right.
So that it's like, what is this? Is this like some friggin' Promised Neverland shit where it's like, oh, we can just feed you humans sometimes because we feel like, I don't know. And
I thought it was just like he saw the movie The Matrix and was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
what the
was getting
robots did,
heavy,
turn everyone into
yeah.
batteries. It's like,
Yeah.
did he just think like, yeah, I want to do that? That it's like that seems
don't
pretty
create
good.
the torment
It's
nexus.
like- oh my god.
Yeah, it's really weird.
God.
You're just an asshole, man. I think that's the ultimate answer. I'm sorry. This is how you had to find out. But you are a villain in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. You do not have an opportunity to.
I wish someone told him that, just like broke it down for him.
He could just
Like-
leave.
Like, well, this is already a silly intro to a weird cutscene, right? It's like just lean into
Right.
it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't care.
So he.
I don't know. I
it's
appreciate
Shadow.
it. I mean, the guy only sees humans and anthropomorphic creatures, I guess, too, every 50 years. So he doesn't really know how to communicate that well. He probably does actually think this has a chance at persuading them, or else he wouldn't bother. Or maybe he just really wants that monologue. At the very least, he does think he might be able to get Shadow. So, yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's a little bit weird, but I don't think it's that unreasonable.
I would have written Black Doom as like almost like a cult leader, like evangelist, like even convincing humans along the way that he was right is probably what would have worked for me.
Oh man,
Honestly,
that would have been a
probably
lot of a lot.
Probably
better.
would have.
But instead, he's just kind of a big angry guy. So he uses chaos control, which I guess this might
He
imply
just
that like
takes the emeralds while everyone's watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when the fuck did that happen?
oh you know, but he teleports the black
Yeah.
comet to Earth, where it drives its roots into the ground.
Yeah, I've got some
Yeah.
flesh roots.
Yeah,
It has roots now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
it's-
it always
it's-
had like
It like
inner
looks like
tentacles,
it's
it
so-
it kind of looks like
tendrils.
it's made out of
True.
flesh, which is uncomfortable.
And so this is where we finally learn why all of this happened like this. Because apparently the Black Comet can't touch a planet without using chaos control to teleport to it.
The problem
Huh.
is that he says something pseudoscientific, like the gravitation
Oh.
it doesn't work.
Yeah, I
Um,
heard that immediately. I'm like, that sounds like bullshit.
It doesn't add up, but
No.
they were trying to say like it basically can't move fast enough, which doesn't make any sense
Yeah, it can't move fast enough to
Remember
enter the
that.
atmosphere.
somehow.
Yeah.
I don't
It's like
think
it's
that
a
actually
perfect
makes any
plan.
fucking
It
sense.
bounces
Um,
off the oxygen.
I would ignore that statement and simply say that it would probably get destroyed if it tried to enter.
I
you know,
guess
normally.
it would actually just burn up. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
burn
because
up.
it's kind of
You know-
fleshy, as we talked about.
right.
it's fine.
I guess I
Well,
don't
and
know.
so this
it's
is-
really
No.
stupid.
Yeah, this is our reveal, is that Gerald promised the emeralds to Black Doom in exchange for his blood to make Shadow alive. So that's
Yep.
So
what
does
Mhm.
so does that make Black Doom Shadow's mother or father?
Well, neither
I
because
thought it
it's
would
an
be
artificial
funnier
process.
if it was the mother, but
if we say that Shadow is in part a Black Arms clone, then Black Doom goes by he him, so that makes him his dad, I guess. I don't know.
I
Okay,
guess that's true.
so that makes Gerald his mother.
That's he with a capital H.
well, no. What I guess the thing that I thought was mostly funny is eventually he's gonna end up having to fight Shadow, right? And I just kind of thought of us like, oh, I put you in this world. I'm gonna take you out of it now. It's
Well,
like,
that
okay,
is
Black Doom.
literally a
That
line
works
later.
That is true.
Yeah, but that's the
Um,
only reason why I thought of it.
Yeah,
But,
but
yeah.
the Sonic characters all find themselves frozen in place. It's really funny how this happens because Knuckles is like, I'm gonna punch him! And he does like this uppercut and then just stands there, stuck still.
This is
Because
not how
Knuckles
paralysis
the worst when that
works.
happens.
Apparently, the Black Comet, when it enters an atmosphere of oxygen, its fumes turn into gas that paralyzes you.
Was that where the gas was coming from?
That's interesting. I
Is-
didn't understand what
Yeah.
caused it, but that That sounds like a kind of explanation I would come up with.
No, I guess that makes as much sense because Doom just says there's gas being pumped in.
Yeah, he doesn't explain.
My notes are based off the
yeah.
Japanese version, so that must be the.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah.
But now he's like,
Couldn't
anyway,
they have
baby,
just,
it's
like,
time to
shown
eat.
some gas?
Oh my gosh, yes. So this bit got me going for a second, and then I saw what was happening on the screen, and then I couldn't help but laugh. But, everyone getting frozen up, they can't do anything. They just have to watch as they're about to be eaten alive. That's actually pretty darn horrifying. But then the little blobby things just come over and start going bloop, bloop, bloop around them. And it all falls apart.
It's just the regular larva enemy model that just undulates.
Yeah.
Would be even funnier too, right? It's like, I know that kind of looks like they're spiky, like they have teeth, but would make it all the more funnier was, they're literally going blip, 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 like they're just like licking them. You know what I mean? Just like slowly, layer by layer. We're gonna get you.
You guys are more solid than I thought.
So I do actually think, based on later information, that they're not really eating them. They're just sitting there and absorbing their energy.
Right. That makes more sense.
Which is really lame, by the way. I wanted them to. As I said, there was a moment where I was like, "This is kind of hardcore," and then they didn't do it again. Every time
with a name like Black Doom and his aesthetic, he should be a lot more metal. But he's really like kind of chill and like not eco-friendly per se. But it's like it's like we're gonna preserve the body. We're just gonna absorb the energy though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, we're gonna keep the Earth still though, but we're gonna drain its life force and the humans' energy.
Fucking Dragon Ball Z tree of might ass bullshit. Yeah, so Shadow's like, no, I'm gonna stop you, and then he's just like, all right, bitch, bye, and then he fades away, and then we have a level.
Wait,
the end of that cutscene is just Shadow finally deciding to think for himself.
Sure, kind of.
He hasn't thought about it for himself for like the entire fucking game.
I mean, it doesn't seem all that different to me. It's not the first time he's denied what someone has asked of him.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, we saw him think for himself earlier. When he took candy from the baby, that was all Shadow.
Yeah.
Okay, true.
No one was forcing Shadow to do that.
True enough.
Or rather, when he wants to be Space Galactic Emperor Shadow, that was all him. No one said to go be Space Emperor Shadow.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah, this is not really a turning moment. He still is not unambiguously good either, because he just leaves everyone else behind to be slowly drained.
Yeah.
I think that was
just a matter of
candy
that way.
Well, he stepped on his own and then just bounced.
That seemed
he
more
only
like
cares
it was
about
a matter
himself.
of Shadow needed to go after Black Doom and couldn't.
He couldn't spare a few seconds.
Yeah, he couldn't spare a few seconds.
Could squish them. Die in the game.
Well, we know full well that apparently nothing was going to fucking happen anyway.
Yeah, it's very weird because later you flash back to that, like, oh, they're going to be fine. Like, the things are dead. They just forgot to show him killing them. No, they're still frozen, being drained. So I don't understand.
It drains really, really slowly.
Yeah, it drains so slowly to the point where it actually your body's replenishing its energy faster.
Maybe Black Doom wasn't lying. Actually,
it's really fucking shit.
So humans are infinite, albeit slow energy.
Yeah.
Which means that if Black Doom just asked nicely, he might have gotten what he wanted.
Yeah, he just said, "Yo, we need some energy. Can you just plug a USB-C cable into your ass?"
You were trying so hard to say something
like
other
Black
than
Doom.
I really was.
It's kind of hard for humans to be like...
Oh, sure. I wouldn't let them plug a USB cable.
I mean, they were probably just approaching the wrong humans.
There's plenty of people that would be okay with them, but most humans, I think, would be like, fuck you, you look weird.
I know some people who would make out with, like, a gray, and the Black Arms aren't far off from that. This is a weird tangent to go down. Let's talk about the stage.
Yeah, fuck this thing.
We have to.
Yeah, do we have to talk about it?
Wait, well,
it's the last way.
Hold on. Who actually likes the stage? I'm afraid no.
I don't find it particularly different from the other two.
Oh no, I have major fucking issues with this.
Yeah, this was my least coherent, most angry notes for the entire fucking game.
So I didn't take many notes for this stage, but Matt knows I was bitching about it pretty much the entire time.
And I don't agree with it because I played it the next day, and it's like, this level's fine. You're just bad. Like, Come on, man.
What you mean? The multiple points where it forces you to grind to get a chaos control is good?
You don't have to. Oh my god! Wait, straw man, get out of here! No, because
that's not even a fucking straw man. That is a
right?
legitimate fucking issue, and the timer is also.
Bullshit.
The game tells you to grind for chaos control.
It does.
You can't. You don't have to sit there though. You could.
I never had a point. No, fuck
though.
you. I never had a point where I had a chaos control ready. I was always like
spamming chaos control. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. That's wild.
Okay, the fact that it's on a timer. I did it like second. I did it like second or third try. But the fact that it's on a timer.
You did say you lost last second, and you had to do the whole thing again.
Yeah. No. So specifically, my problem is that the timer immediately makes me think I gotta fucking book it. So I don't take my time to try and kill enemies on the way.
Also, just because the level isn't hard doesn't mean it's good.
No, this stage is
sure.
ass.
I mean, it's not ass though, because it's not like
terrible.
You know, you look
at this stage.
You look at some of the actual.
Things.
You can't tell me this is like Cosmic Fall. If you're telling me this is like Cosmic Fall, I immediately throw your opinion out the window.
Okay, you're right. It's the third worst stage in the game.
I think it's worst stage. I'd have to go
problems.
I would have to go through the stages again to decide where I put it, but it's definitely low fucking down there.
I think
really
that
shouldn't.
Multiple things can get a failing grade. Just because there's something worse doesn't mean they're not all Fs.
I mean,
no, that's fair.
It's just
I want to hear
boring,
Devin.
I guess.
We've all like.
I don't know if
I've never had a problem
boring.
with the timer. I think that it's silly that it makes you grind when you can tell that every point where you stop, right, and there's a moment where it's like, oh, just grind for chaos control. It's almost always at a point where you can see where you would go if there was just a way up.
Just give me a way to get up there.
Because
we're having the length of the stage.
This level is constructed out of reused geometry from the other Black Comet levels.
Yes. Yeah, no, I recognized multiple parts of this stage, and I already didn't like a lot of the Black Comet's levels.
So I don't struggle at all with playing this level, but I don't feel much from doing it because it's just kind of sloppy and repetitive.
Maybe I'm also just biased because I didn't like most of the Black Comet stages.
Well, Bruce, I liked most of them, and I hate the stage.
Fair enough.
Remember, Black Comet, though, had funny hover boat bits.
Yeah, and I don't like
hovering in this stage. So it's immediate F tier.
No. Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
No hoverboard, get it out of here.
There's your reasoning.
No car to crash into people, no hoverboard.
It has to rank up a little bit, though, because it has the hammer, though. This is like one of the only other stages with the hammer.
That's true. Hammer good, but chaos control spam
You know
bad.
what? I never ran across
so much damage.
I never ran across that thing in any of my Shadow playtime.
You have to kill really big enemies to get it.
I was killing, I guess maybe not killing the biggest ones, because all the big enemies I killed gave me the swords.
No, you have to kill like the absolute units, like the mega thick boys.
Yeah, I think I just avoided them. I was just like, fuck them, I don't want to deal with them.
Is this the most variance we've ever had on opinions of a single stage?
Maybe.
Violent.
Probably.
Debate.
Let me say this right here. The stage isn't like God's gift to man. It's not that great, but it's not.
But nothing
awful,
in Shadow
though.
is.
Nothing in Shadow is.
It's a serviceable level, though.
That's the thing. I would not call it serviceable.
I think as someone who is good at this game, playing it is not that big a deal, but I can understand the things that you guys are taking issue with.
Yes, because you're good at the fucking game.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't a difficulty thing for me.
Sure.
And it wasn't even that much of a difficulty thing. The level felt like it was wasting my fucking time, which is ironic because I didn't feel that way about Lost Impact.
There is very much a right way and a wrong way to play the level, which is a bad thing with the level. Because, like you said, because they put it right at the start that they have a timer on like 10 minutes or whatnot. And immediately you go to panic mode and you're like, fuck, I gotta go.
Yeah,
this
that
is like
was
Metroid.
me.
Metroid tells you need to book it. I've played Metroid. That you have to book it. You don't have time to kill shit most of the time. And most of the time they don't force you in a room where you have to like kill something, right? Sometimes they do, and it's dumb, but that's Metroid. With this though, right? Again, I really don't think that's like how you're supposed to be playing it though. There's so many other
But that's how the
stages,
level
right,
wants you to
like,
think you need to play.
I mean, they
is
literally
true.
have stops
Well,
for
no.
you. Like that's
They tell
they're
you-
kind
they
of
tell you right at the
drawing you
start
as
to
if
use
that's the way to
cosmic.
do it.
It really does.
They tell you right
it
at the
comes
start.
off as like
They
that.
tell you need to use chaos control. That's what they tell you right at the start.
But
They're
then
like,
they have that
okay, I
big
gotta
blinking timer in front of you, and at least in my brain, that triggers panic mode. Oh fuck, I need to book it.
But it's 10 minutes though.
I
mean, it's like
what stages have pushed that.
I have had stages
I spent 26 minutes on one
that.
stage, so I see 10 minutes for a stage, and I'm thinking, oh fuck.
I see 10 minutes specifically in this game.
Is that they shouldn't turn a tool for the player into a mandatory mechanic.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to use
that through the rest of the game. Just
and also stages shouldn't have timers, just full stop. But
I mean, they also shouldn't make you grind while also putting a time limit on you. So it can vary wildly what the experience with the stage actually is within that, based on how that conditions you to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I
me
guess
and Matt, who are people that aren't taking
a flow,
who are not taking the time limit seriously in the way that Bruce and Sid might have not as bad a time because we're not feeling that same pressure. Even though I'm not telling you guys you're wrong to feel that pressure.
By the time you get to the stage, you have to play so much fucking Shadow, and here is the stage making you play more Shadow.
Yeah, I think I was also at the point where it's like I wanted this game to be done.
You are absolutely sick of this game by the time you reach this stage. I think that's true for most players.
No, this game is like this stage was the culmination of all of like the just sheer amount of annoyance I had with this game.
Like, this is really the best they can do to send it out on. Like, this is the best they could do for a final stage.
Yeah, it's like a stage like Cannon's Core, even though we got exhausted by that stage, it does at least feel like the logical conclusion of everything leading up to it.
Cannon's Core is very much
another one.
Yeah.
Also, Cannon's Core felt genuinely hard at points, whereas this is just trying to stress you out and not actually feeling genuinely hard.
Yeah, no, nothing in this stage is harder than any other part of the game.
Yeah, no, honestly,
that's what I was gonna say. It's like, I don't think if they're trying to stress you out, I think they don't really do a good job besides the timer.
The timer is the biggest.
Look, that's all it takes for someone like me.
They just really hate timers. Man.
That's true.
No, yeah, I hate.
It really depends on the player. But it's like, for me, right? It culminated in what the things it was trying to do, right? Where it's like you're getting in the groove, killing stuff, right? Because they wanted to push combat, they wanted to push like gunplay and whatnot, but they also want you to go fast because it's Sonic-like, though. And so you're just kind of like grooving along, killing guys and whatnot. Oh, you build up your cool hero meter, you're doing that. Life is good.
Maybe they shouldn't have pushed trying to go fast in this game.
They didn't try all that hard. It was kind of half.
It's very half-assed, but maybe it shouldn't have been pushed at all.
This game is not just about an identity crisis. This game is an identity crisis.
It is.
That's what we're seeing in every instance of
this
game.
This game was
super early on. This is every video game.
It really does kind of feel like video game the game.
And they did try so many different things.
Yeah,
it feels like on all the levels they couldn't figure out what they wanted.
Yeah, it feels like this was the point in the series where they were going through an identity crisis. They're like, we don't know what the hell to do. We're just going to just throw as much shit as we can and see whatever sticks. And none of it really stuck.
3 to 5 more years.
And because of that, you get really tired of the game, and then it's everything.
I think we're all on mostly the same page here.
I guess for me it was an alright time, but it's like, I don't know. They couldn't figure out what the fuck they wanted to do, even right till the end. They just kind of like, we'll try this.
Yeah.
Opinions are allowed to be split. It's fine. Lauren, do you want to weigh in on this, or are you afraid of getting hit by a car from Matt or Sid or somebody?
I mean, I think it's a perfectly logical final level. It doesn't really have the extreme lows, in my opinion, but it's definitely a Shadow the Hedgehog level. It has tedious bits.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I mean, it's not the worst, though.
Didn't hurt you in quite the same way?
No. Kind of just what I might expect. It wasn't...
You weren't surprised.
Yeah, there was nothing that surprised me, yes. There you go.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if you see, it's like did we all play the same game kind of thing. It's like it was what you should expect. It was a Shadow the Hedgehog level.
I think this stage does really feel like a culmination of all my opinions on Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah. By the time I got to the stage, I was already like so far into a single sitting of just trying to get through as much Shadow as possible because I fucking despise this game.
Yeah.
And this was level just like where it all boiled over.
To be fair, I wasn't that far into a sitting, but it felt
It still
it
goes
really,
to show how much you hate
yeah,
it.
Took it out
yeah.
of you.
No, it was.
Mhm.
It's certainly a game.
It
Well-
is the video game.
We
It is the video game
Yeah.
of the video games.
we have no choice but to continue being video games.
Mm.
Let's move on. It's a stage. We get to Black Doom. We confront Black Doom, and Black Doom's like, "Nah, bitch," because he tries to control the Black Arm's blood inside Shadow.
Yeah, so are they trying to imply that Shadow was like kind of part of the hive mind?
Yes.
A little.
This is
Which is
fascinating.
I thought.
culminating all the way to this point.
That is really cool. Not really cool. That is definitely an interesting idea. And
yeah.
there is something later on that I thought was going to be cool, or like later on in this cutscene that I thought was going to be cool that ended up not being cool, and I'm really disappointed.
Yeah, this led me. I was already curious because of little hints, as we've talked about before, about what's the deal with the Black Arms, and so this got me on a theory that I thought would be an interesting direction. So Shadow, yes, is I think that's pretty. He's obviously closely related to Black Doom, and such that Black Doom can control them. But they're not just like, oh, you're part of the Black Arms, join us or whatever, become part of the hive mind. Instead, he does talk about like he's mind controlling him. He's using his mind control powers, and I thought that was a little strange because I thought this was all leading up to like, oh, Shadow, join the group. You're one of us. But no, it actually kind of seems like Black Doom was like, yeah, no, this is kind of how it would go. He didn't really have super high expectations.
Right.
And he talks about it, like I said, like mind control, which I think is a weird way to say it, like it's something he can do.
But it's
and so
accurate.
what this made me wonder, hey, hold on a minute. Perhaps this is an ability that Black Doom uses on the Black Arms, and the Black Arms are equally unwilling.
That would be interesting.
They're victims too.
That'd be interesting.
No.
Something that I noticed about this game is that none of the Black Arms talk at all, except Black Doom and Doom's Eye.
Right.
Doom's Eye
Which is
is
basically
a little bit of a weird entity
Also,
because they don't
Doom's
seem to
Eye-
have any purpose except to
Doom's
be
Eye-
a seeing eye for
Yeah, Doom's
Black
Eye just
Doom.
seems like it's just a vessel for Black Doom
It
to
doesn't
communicate
even
through.
seem like a creature that could survive on its own, really.
Yeah, I think it's just part of Black Doom's
Yeah.
consciousness.
The Black Arms seem like they might be able to, though, but they don't have any personality at all. You would expect of a classic hive mind, that they might talk, but they would just be of the same.
It's like the
mind.
Borg.
Right. But given the way this is played out, I think the fact that they're completely silent actually means that they're
Yeah.
that they're all in a zombified state rather than of a single mind.
If other Black Arms clans exist, throughout the universe, I would love to see that brought up as a plot point, that, like, Black Doom was a break with the normality of Black Arms, and, like, some of them are just citizens.
That'd be interesting. Or maybe a group of Black Arms that have been able to break off from the Black Arm Society.
It's very interesting.
it'd be a really funny. Like, I don't think it is the thing I'm about to say really supports it that much, but it's just kind of a funny thing. You know how you go through the stages, right? And you can have either Black Doom or someone else like tell you what's going on throughout the mission, or you can have yourself, like you don't have anybody and you just have Shadow talking to himself. It'd be kind of funny, right? If like, oh, you have Black Doom, he's like kind of controlling you a little bit because Shadow doesn't ever really talk when you have someone else tell him what to do in a stage. He only ever says anything when he like dies, right? Or
That's true.
when he's by himself. And so you could make some weird roundabout case of like, oh, you even see it in the stages. Because what I was gonna say was that it's a shame that even in the darker paths of Shadow, that there isn't enough evidence supporting that we see in Shadow. Because Shadow is perfectly, I mean, like he's mind controlled in that he can't really think for himself by the end.
Sure.
He can still talk though, but like. Maybe he's like Doom's Eye, where it's just a vessel for Black Doom to talk, So
Yeah. Well, that would go along with what Lauren was
so it's
saying
an
about how he
interesting
doesn't really
theory.
change that much. So
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly. But I would argue too that it is weird too, though, because when you have the pure good, though, he doesn't change much either. But then that leads into the credence that like, well, he is like Black Doom. He is his son after all. But It is a really interesting theory, though. I just wish we got to see more evidence of that.
Yeah.
We
in any case,
we did
for
get
right
some
now,
with like the mind control and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, for right now, he's just trying to mind control him, and it kind of starts working, but Shadow gets an interesting piece of motivational content here, which is that we hard cut to the chaotics on the Ark. I guess they found the computer
Just
room.
out of nowhere. Yeah, just out of fucking nowhere.
And they somehow, some way, cause a video message from Gerald to display on the Black Comet and in the gun base. What? And it is
It's
this
everywhere,
video
you know.
from either just before or just in the middle of the raid on the Ark, where Gerald makes this YouTuber apology video where he expresses regret for dealing with the Black Arms, and he said, "Oh,
Jesus
I made
Christ.
both Shadow and the Eclipse Cannon hoping they would destroy the Black Comet." And also, Maria's in there in the room with him, so she knows about all of this.
Oh yeah, of course.
It'll be okay. We'll save the day.
Izuka wrote this game, and he didn't think this was in any way like fucking with SA2's themes.
You know.
Just saying something because you played it all in Japanese too, and it's also like that. So
Yes,
it's just that's just how the game is.
Just, you know.
It implies in some part that Maria saving Shadow was not just her wanting him to live and be free, but also because she was trying to protect
her
the world
purpose.
from aliens.
I guess it's also weird to me. I don't know enough about Maria, but I thought it was weird that it was like, it's okay, both Shadow and I will both save Earth. And it's like, what the heck's Maria gonna do? It's like
She's gonna
always
use
got
her
the vibe she
powerful
was like a
slap.
sickly girl. Oh my god. It gives him the courage to stand up and be like, no, I will be not having this from you.
No.
We're over it.
Right. He like breaks out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Also,
And
this
he's able to
batch of
break out of the
cutscenes
chaos,
has so
he's
many
break out of
fucking loading screens in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Because
really
they
I
can
just-
annoying.
cut between
Dude,
two
I-
locations.
I know, it's so annoying. I
I was
think.
gonna joke about it. I can only imagine how awful it'd be on OG hardware.
I mean, it's not great on an
It's probably
emulator, let's
horrible.
be honest.
No, that's true.
So yeah.
But yeah, he you know, but the power of Maria and Gerald, he snaps out of it.
Yeah, the power of friendship and magic, and this
And-
gun I found.
It's funny because Black Doom is just kind of like, oh, well, whatever, I'm gonna do it anyway. He doesn't even really seem that concerned.
Oh, it's clear that he did not expect it to fucking work.
He just kind of leaves, doesn't even bother to take the Chaos Emeralds with him.
Yeah, he just fucks off.
That
I don't
is
need
the
these
bit
anymore.
that I don't understand. Why? Why does he leave the Chaos Emeralds behind? That is such a dumb move. This
Doom
guy,
is clearly
it's
really stupid.
I'm antagonist. I don't need them anymore. I've already warped over to Earth. You can't stop
Right.
me. Here,
No.
have them.
Doom is like actually fucking stupid all of a
well,
sudden.
I mean, honestly, the whole time up until now, this is the breaking point for me. I could pretty easily write it off as, oh, he's just got too many contingencies, and it's true because up until
a lot.
now, he's actually fallen back on a lot of backup plans, and it's been
It's
fine.
true.
And if he'd just taken the Chaos Emeralds, legit, he could have maybe pulled this through. But the fact that he doesn't do that is dumbfounding.
Mhm.
Yeah, because like you could have just had like Shadow punch him in the face or something, and he runs away. Like you don't have
That's all
to.
it takes.
You don't have to go out of your way to make it super elaborate.
Well,
No.
he just like
Um,
instant transmission. He's done that before. He's like,
Yeah,
More Dragon Ball.
and it does
I think he
lead
does that
to
later, though, actually.
one of the few scenes to prick at my nostalgia strings just a tiny bit, because Black Doom's gone. Shadow's like, I'm gonna stop him, and so we get the supersonic
Put
transformation.
the past
scene.
behind me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have an instrumental of I Am All of Me as he transforms, and it's like, oh, that's fine. But then at the second point, it flows into a reprise of Live and Learn, and it's like, oh.
That was really cool.
How do you notice that? That's cool.
It's,
I like sort of noticed it. I had to go back and listen to it again, but that
It's
was really
like-
cool.
It's like seeing like your least favorite politician, the most evil person on the planet, whoever that might be, and you see like their baby pictures, and it's like, oh, this used to be something innocent.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
God, I will say it did get me hyped. Having never played adventure games, really, I
It
was
does.
excited.
It definitely does get you kind of pretty hyped.
Plus, also the intro, like the theme of this game, is just a bop too.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
I am
they
all
use
of
that
me
too.
does.
It's like,
too.
oh man,
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily needed it playing on loop for our final boss, but that's okay.
I mean, yeah, it's tradition, and I fuck with it. Well,
they
actually,
didn't-
technically not for Heroes. Heroes had a better song.
Yeah, but yes,
and that's
so
why Heroes is bad, right?
this is our final boss of the game. This is Devil Doom, the most faux edgy name for any villain.
It was a stupid, edgy name.
And I have to ask,
But it's also perfect for the game.
Oh, it
Yes.
totally is.
Yeah.
and I have to ask, why? Why specifically?
Why what?
Why is
Why
he like
what?
this?
Why specifically what?
Why is he like what?
Why is
This?
Um,
Why did
oh,
he?
why is he like the demon mode, devil
Oh,
He didn't use
No.
the
because-
emeralds to transform.
because
I
we needed
actually
a
Just like
final
demon
boss.
mode, it just
True.
happens
I
sometimes.
thought he did use the emeralds, and then he just left them behind because who cares?
Well, you can just delay the transformation.
mode? You know what
Sure.
it could be
I
as well?
feel like
Because in the
regular-
fight,
like
you see-
Black
He
Doom
just
was just
drained,
a
he drained the
facade.
negative energy of the Chaos Emeralds, left.
They don't turn
And then left-
gray.
Well, they didn't in that other game that they did the same thing in. What was it? Sonic.
Adventure 1, they did turn gray.
Did they do it
Here's
in
the thing, you
2?
could support
I
it,
can't
though.
remember. Anyway.
In the fight, you see the
I was
black
pretty sure it
eye,
was the
though,
emeralds,
floating
though.
about, though, which
That's
is usually
true.
a vessel for him that you can
So-
see about.
Oh yeah,
What if
so
this is
maybe
just
the,
another, like, what if he's like, this is another vessel for him to control?
maybe
Yeah,
the black
so
eye
this
is
is
actually
considered his true form, or just like another
Well-
vessel.
well,
Yeah.
maybe Black Eye is actually Black Doom.
That would make
Yeah,
sense in
I'd
some
buy
ways.
Oh, that's even funnier. Oh my god, that's like Ninja Turtles where you have like the little brain guys. And he's like, that's the real Black Doom. The one that we fought as a boss earlier. Yeah,
That's
that
just
was
another
just like,
body.
it's like a puppet. It's like a body.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's
That
just
could have been
another
some other
body.
guy.
Okay,
Well, and that's-
I'm not
that's
saying I want that to be the case because that's really stupid.
Well, that's partially corroborated here
Sure.
because
But this game
what
is
we
yeah.
what we have here
True.
is this big two-headed bat tentacle thing with no legs, right? It's just
Right.
demon.
Peak performance.
And you start far away from him for some reason.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And you
Well,
have to
I mean,
fly
yeah.
toward
Isn't
him.
that like Adventure 1 though?
In
Yeah, and I
Adventure
didn't like
1,
that
flying
part
toward
of
him is the
Perfect
whole fight,
Chaos.
though.
In
Which,
Adventure
like,
1.
that kind of tricked me into thinking this fight was just going to be
Well,
like
what,
that, where it's just
Perfect
you run
Chaos
at it
again?
and that's the fight.
Fair enough.
There's an extra
Because
step.
between Adventure
Yeah.
1 and Adventure 2, it's like, okay, I'm far away from the boss, I just run at it and that's the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you run toward him and you got to shoot any possible ring balloons you see. You cannot spare any rings for this fight. You got to get them
Right.
when you see them. It's
Yep.
not too hard to keep them when you have them, but you have to be on it at all times.
Right, you got to be on top of shit.
And he
You
has
do a quick loop and you shoot them and you're good.
he has lasers and he'll throw rubble at you sometimes, and your whole thing is to charge up a chaos spear and hit him in the eye. And this is why I was bringing this up, because when you hit him each time, Doom's Eye will move from one side of the beast to the other. So if we want to
Right.
argue that the real Black Doom is the eye, that would be corroborated by that.
That's
Um,
true.
I don't think that's meant to be the case. I
'Cause
think
why
that's
why
just
would he need to
gameplay.
do that?
Uh,
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense why beating
don't
the
think you-
construct and his other bosses would beat him. So
I don't know if you need to charge it per se though. Because maybe
No, you
it's-
don't
well,
need
'cause
to
you
charge-
can
You don't
deal
need to.
damage
You
him.
don't need
but
to charge
I
it, but
wonder
it
if
just
it's
makes
like
the fight go
command-
longer, I think.
It does because
I
you
chose
don't-
to not
it's
charge
like
it while
other
fighting
fights where
it.
you can,
I
like,
think I did as
combo
well.
and, like,
I just did the
Once if you hit
regular
him once,
blasts
you-
because I was having
Yeah.
such a hard time getting it to actually charge.
Well, so I
Yeah,
was struggling just to
still
get it
kinda
to even
understandable.
hit him.
well, because what it is that you'll charge it, but if he hits you at all, you lose your charge because you get knocked back.
That's
Or if it
true,
hits
yeah.
any of the other possible things that it could hit, because this game actually has worse auto aim than modern FPSs.
The
which
auto
is
targeting
ridiculous.
is terrible in this.
The
game.
auto
That
targeting
the
is
worst part.
well, the auto targeting's terrible in general in this game, but this fight is
Yeah, but like this fight, it's
it
not
is
egregious.
especially egregious in this fight.
Sure.
Because there's
I
so
don't-
many things right next to the boss that we need to be hitting.
Yeah,
It's like, no, you hit this now.
It's less bad if you. It's less bad if you hug him, like not like hug him, but like you have to get close to him.
Well, but the
like,
problem
really
is,
close, like,
I
blow a
agree with
kiss.
that. But the problem is he does chaos control away eventually.
I get that, but like I've never had him chaos control from me just getting close to him.
Oh, I had him do
feel
that
like he's only
multiple
ever done that
times.
from just.
Yeah, that happened to me a lot.
Yeah.
For me, it was every
I
two
heard
times I
somewhere
hit
that
him,
that's a
but it
thing.
might just be on a timer. I don't know.
I think it's just on a timer.
I think it's
'cause
probably a
able to-
timer because that would explain
I
why
was able
Bruce
to
and I
get-
had problems.
Yeah, well, I was
True,
able to
true.
get like
Yeah.
3 or 4 hits at a time. But the problem was that I wasn't charging, so that it was taking fucking eternity.
Yeah, it doesn't do very much damage.
Sure, that's
I don't
what it
blame
is,
you for
too.
spamming it, by the
And
way,
it
because
gives
that
you-
is more reliable in terms of actually getting the hit register.
Yeah,
to
it was
register.
it was definitely more reliable.
It was like
How many
5% less
times that I hit a
frustrating
rock?
to spam it.
And it takes a while
Cool.
to charge. Like I
It
appreciate
does.
that they give you a warning when it's max charge because it'll be like chaos, and that's
Right.
cool. I dig that, but it still takes a while though. Where
It
I have to consider
does.
just spamming it like you guys. But I think the thing
Yeah.
for me was that because even just a regular spam hit forces the eye to switch over and he's like invincible the whole time, that itself also felt bad to me. Where it was like, no, I'd rather just charge it up,
I mean, that's
even if it's kind
fair.
of janky.
And
Honestly, my brain had just melted so much at that point that I did not have the patience for
Sure.
anything more than mashing buttons.
I think that was my problem as well. I was at this point. I was so done with Shadow. I just wanted to just
Right.
boom, 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 boom.
We did just
was-
have last way, and that was
Yeah.
a traumatic experience for the both of you guys. So I get it.
Yeah, a little
No,
bit.
it was though. You guys talked about it. I mean,
No, you're not wrong. It's funny. It's
Yeah,
funny
it's
describing it as traumatic.
I must
Yeah.
say, it was a little odd, kind of falling back into familiar territory in this game, because I'm like, oh, it's a super fight, and is there going to be a dumb gimmick? Kind of.
Kind
but
of.
nothing too crazy, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a really big fan of super fights. Imagine you could just go Super Shadow in the stages and you just had infinite ammo until you ran out of rings. That would be great. But no, we don't get that in 3D Sonic games. So yeah, I think you guys have covered it pretty well. But yeah, it's pretty standard fare, I think.
It's-
for the
It really
most part.
is.
It's
I think it's
like saying
serviceable.
it ends
It's a
up
fine fight, but
Well,
like
fine is not the word
For
it's in the realms of supersonic fights, it's not the most frustrating I've encountered.
I don't. Well, yeah.
I think for me it was because I only play the adventure era, and I would much rather do Perfect Chaos or Final Hazard again.
That's
than
that.
this.
That's fair enough, but like I remember how much I struggled with Perfect Chaos, so
Perfect Chaos, I would just die randomly, but somehow that felt more bearable than this for me.
yeah, this one definitely feels more like you're just throwing yourself at Doom.
It just
And
doesn't
eventually
feel
it's going to-
tense. Like there's not a lot of momentum to it.
No.
No, I will give Perfect Chaos that it definitely has more momentum to it. Like you're
Yeah.
fucking blasting yourself towards
And like in
towards
Perfect
the-
Chaos, you're in
barely
the city
happens,
that's being ruined. Like shit is
Right.
going down around you, and this one
Yeah.
is trying so hard to make it
This-
seem like
yeah.
so much has gone wrong that it
Well,
just
yeah.
loses all frame of reference.
Yeah, this
you're
one
just
is
in
is
the
very
red
much
cloud
in.
level.
Yeah, you're like in the upper
Actually-
atmosphere. You're like somewhere in the atmosphere above the clouds, and Doom is just
That's
like lifting up debris and shit. It's a little underwhelming.
I kind of wish a lot of the aesthetic in this game is that urban kind of city vibe.
It is,
Which is
yeah.
only a fraction of the levels, but I mean, it was in the marketing and it's in the intro trailer.
No,
it's all over the
I
place when you play
I
the
totally
game.
agree with you on
know,
that.
it's all over the cutscenes.
Yeah.
You know, we have so many stages like that. You make a good point. Why isn't this fight there?
It should
could
be
still
in
have
like
it be rather
Westopolis
ruined
or
and red.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, it could be
yeah.
easily just do something like Perfect Chaos, like flood the area with like red clouds and shit.
Well, with the
Yeah, this is
with
what
the
Shadow has
black-
done to us. We're now saying, hey, why can't this be more like Perfect Chaos?
Yeah, with how much? Yeah.
with the black comet, fused with the Earth. If you had taken the city aesthetic and blended it with the black comet aesthetic, and then
That could
had the
also
final
been
boss like
interesting.
be fused to the top of a skyscraper or something.
Yeah, no, that would also be interesting. That'd be a cool. That sounds
and that's what
cool.
we're talking about with Death Ruins too, of like, oh, it's being corrupted or whatever by
Right.
the alien.
Yeah.
That would have been cool, but like you take it to 11 because this is the climax of the game. It's like this is where it all goes down. It's like, and you can see it's even more twisted and corrupted. The city.
Do you want to know for me, what is the biggest sort of middle finger of this, though?
Really?
This might be the biggest middle finger of the whole game, because this whole game is formulated on the question, what's going on with Shadow, right? Did he lose his memories? Is he a robot? You know, what happened between Adventure 2 and now? In this fight, Eggman has a voice line that you can trigger that explains that Shadow fell to Earth, and his robots found him, and he kept him in a capsule while he recovered in Heroes.
Right.
So that is the one actual answer that anyone's really looking for from this game, and you have
they
to
don't
wait
even make it obvious
in the final boss for 9 minutes to hear it. That's
Jesus
what triggers
Christ.
this. Is the 9-minute mark on the timer.
Wait, really?
What?
Because I was gonna say,
Wow.
Who the fuck
it's
is
like, what are you
going to
talking
do
about?
that?
Me as a kid, but yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough, I guess.
Why would they? Why? Just why?
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
Like, hey, here's
You
the
would-
answer
well,
to
you know,
Shadow's thing. We're gonna hide it behind 9 minutes of waiting in a fucking boss.
That is
Well, you know,
God.
thinking about it though, if I had gotten that far as a kid, which mind you, I was terrible at this game as a kid, I barely got far. If I somehow got to this point, it probably would take me like more than 9 minutes.
I mean, yeah, I can
probably
imagine
would
if you're
be able to
like
charge
why
at
I
you're like
hated
hitting the rocks.
struggling. So yeah,
like,
I
could
get
buy
that.
that. I could
yeah,
buy that.
I get that. Like, if you're really struggling,
But that should be in the cutscene.
The
But
boss
yeah, that
shouldn't
should
take
just-
that long.
Yeah.
that should just be in a cutscene,
Sure.
being like
Or just be played at the
before
start
the
or
final.
something.
Well, before
Yeah.
like the
Yeah, it
final
should-
boss,
yeah.
Eggman interjects saying, "This is what happened, Shadow."
You have a small cutscene because remember they love putting a billion cutscenes where they load to different zones
Mhm.
for the sake of the game. Just have one more. One more won't hurt. So he turns to Super Shadow or whatever you want to call him, right? And he flies on
Yeah.
up to go fight Black Doom. And you just have a shot of like him flying or whatever going towards him, right? And like Shadow, we all made it off the Black Comet, but I need to tell you this.
I need to
it's
tell
like,
you what happened.
And I mean,
Like,
that's
yeah,
that's a
get
rare
that.
moment for Eggman.
I
because
need to tell you what you're fighting for.
Right.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that, that, obviously, the fact that you can skip it means that that line is not what wins Shadow the fight, but that means that Eggman is just saying it to be nice, which is a rare moment for him.
No, that's wild. But then it
Yeah.
also gets into the semantics, too, of like, hold on, asshole, why didn't you tell me this earlier in the
Yeah,
game?
why the fuck didn't you tell
It's
me this
like-
before, dickhead?
Because we got into whole arguments. I was like, oh, but what if he doesn't know? If he's like an android or whatnot? And it's like
It's like
but he also just
Eggman
had
knows
this in
the
back of his
entire
hand,
fucking
like-
time.
Well, I guess he didn't know if whether or not that one was an android, but still, he has this very important.
So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
that
God damn
probably what it is with Eggman is that he actually didn't want to reveal the truth, but after you fight anything for 9 minutes, he's like, maybe he needs a morale boost.
Well, yeah, because it's in Eggman's best interest to
True.
continue to not give information whenever he can, because that's stuff he
Sure,
can
yeah.
leverage in the future.
Yeah.
But if the
Sure.
fight's taking that long, I feel like Eggman's just like, okay, well,
Eggman's gonna be like, shit, okay, I need to
look
tell
up.
him this stuff. He needs to know this shit so we can finish this up.
Couldn't give me some rings to help?
Yeah.
Okay.
even
No,
when
yeah.
No, because you stole them all from me.
True.
True, we
did
we
buy
had the
one.
whole funny clown stage. His money's gone.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Amazing. Maybe this game is actually a narrative masterpiece. Who knows?
I don't think so,
No.
actually.
I don't
Yeah,
think
see?
it is.
All right. Well, let's finish off whatever narrative we have left.
Thank God.
Shadow
Wait.
lays waste to Doom. The game from
And-
1993.
Damn. I wish I was playing Doom.
And notably for my theory, Doom goes on this big rant about how he's the greatest being in the universe and he should have ruled everything. And I think it's very notable that throughout most of the game, he talks about how great the Black Arms are and how stupid humans are. But this time, at the very end, he's just talking about how great he is, specifically. And I think this
That's true,
change
yeah.
indicates
That's a good
that it's
point.
very possible
I didn't think about that. That's
yeah,
interesting.
he's just in complete control, and it's about him. It's not about the
Right.
collective.
I
Hmm.
like good Black Arms theory. I like that.
That
Which
yeah,
is-
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it is cool too.
It does make this next bit a little weird, though, because Shadow
Yeah.
flies through the city, picks up the Black Comet. He's Super Shadow. He can do that's fine, and throws
Yeah,
it out into
that's
space. And let me see. Where are the Chaos Emeralds right now? Because I assume that Shadow would have them, right? But the Chaotix fire the Eclipse Cannon into the comet, and it's blown to pieces.
Oops.
Well, clearly, you know what?
You know, they're like the Dragon Balls. They'll come back next year. They're gonna come back next year. Don't worry about it.
You know what? Who gives a fuck at this point?
I have no real answer to that other than stupid contrivances. That's a big mistake, actually.
Well, so you know how we previously established like Cream is the strongest character in the Sonic universe?
Yeah, we established that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, she
established
didn't
that all
want
the
the
way
emeralds to
back
be
in
destroyed.
destroyed.
So she just went and like grabbed them all.
Ah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yo,
Yeah,
guys, remember back at Cryptic Castle where we were like, wait a minute, we just left Cream here. No.
She
Cream
was
had
on
a
a secret
secondary
mission.
objective
She's been there the entire
Black
time.
Comet because she didn't get stuck with all the
Oh
other ones with the
my
gas.
God.
She was
Sure,
like
you're right, she's not there.
sleuthing. Exactly. And so
Oh
when
God.
Shadow goes to the final showdown, Cream and Cheese take the emeralds and they bounce out of there. Oh, you know what? And because remember, we're like, oh, why isn't Shadow helping out Sonic and company, right? Cream and Cheese do it. And they all get out of there because remember that it's like, oh, Shadow, don't worry, we made it off the Black Comet, so that when we shoot it later, we're gonna be good. And then the cannon, exactly.
Cream and Cheese would not have helped them out of like any sense of justice or anything. Cream and Cheese is doing it as like a power move.
They just want to see
like to establish
the
dominance.
Black Comet explode. Yeah, they just
you see, Cheese and Cream are they have bloodlust. That's what they've got. Because they're like, wow, things have gotten dark, but we will not be showed up. We're the true bringers of destruction. Guys, let's commit the ultimate move and just go ahead and commit genocide, killing all the Black Arms.
Yeah, because they're good.
Roasted Peppers, good Black Arms.
Oh no! My God!
Because unless I'm mistaken, the Black Arms
out of there too.
don't show up again, and they are said to be linked to the Black Comet. So it's not a stretch at all to assume that they are all just eradicated, which is wild. I can't believe that they completely doubled down. I thought it was weird that the heroes were so callous about killing the Black Arms. But I thought surely in the most heroic version of events, something would be done. Like I said, when Black Doom was talking about controlling Shadow, I thought, oh, this is a hint. No, I don't know.
They're just all evil and we need to wipe them off the face of the earth.
I guess.
If recent events have taught me anything, it's that a lot more people share that opinion about certain groups of people than I expected.
We're
not going to get depressing here, though. Anyway, so everybody is celebrating. The Black Arms are defeated. We don't actually see everybody touch down to Earth, but they're fine. They got out of there. Cream the Rabbit, like we said.
Yeah.
She's still not in the cutscene, though.
Cream,
I don't
we
think.
don't know where she.
Yeah, because she's so good.
She has the cast.
She's on to the
She's
next thing
hiding
already.
The cast somewhere.
Oh yeah, she's back at home having tea with her mom, waiting for Blaze to arrive.
But yeah, Eggman's like, oh, maybe I can have those emeralds back. You know,
Cream's like,
we end on a
Billy,
Knuckles chasing Eggman gag instead of an Amy chasing Sonic gag.
Thank fucking
That's
God.
the very end, actually.
No, we get more after that. That's just for the characters we know.
we do.
We do get. I'm going to say this, and you guys are going to need to let me talk unimpeded. So, we do get the only actually good message in this game, where the president and the commander say it's really fucked up that we hunted and blamed Shadow for so long when he's clearly actually a good dude. And they say they want to make sure that nothing like the Ark disaster ever happens again, and they want to win Shadow's trust back.
Right.
In the Japanese version. In the English version, motherfuckers say they were unfair to Gerald, who was a cool dude.
Yeah, I was... Okay.
Yep, that's the takeaway I had.
Okay, I definitely learning the Japanese version definitely sounds better.
They fucked it up.
Thank you so much, Devin, for trying this out and trying out the Japanese.
Yeah,
because, like,
I really...
I don't know about you guys, but I thought the same thing, where it was like, well, hold on. I mean, maybe they were a little bit mean to Gerald, but they don't even mention Shadow. They're like, nah, you go fuck yourself.
Gerald tried to kill everybody.
Yeah, no,
Twice.
Shadow is the one who's clearly being misunderstood here.
But like,
well, if Gerald made Shadow, all of Shadow's actions are just
he made Shadow,
right?
Exactly. So that's
all of my son's actions.
I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. He made an own Shadow, therefore any good Shadow does is his.
Hell yeah.
You know, I guess if you want to read into the whole, the UF is America thing, you could make that a prescient social commentary. But it's amazing how mangled that became in the dub.
That's kind of impressive.
But no, they are talking about forgiving Shadow and wanting to improve things so that Gun is not a bunch of bastards anymore, and that also kind of makes it more believable that after this point Shadow will work with Gun. So
yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense after this point that Team Dark becomes part of the Gun.
It's still rough because they're still the people who put a bullet in the back of his best friend, but at least they're trying to make a difference.
Right. No, that makes a lot more sense
and it lines
with
up
the
with,
Japanese
like,
context.
It lines neutral good too, of the Gun commander second guessing. It's like, well, wait a minute, maybe Shadow isn't bad, and like I've been living a lie my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it reinforms that where it's like, yeah, it's like we were a little bit too mean to this guy, trying to kill him in every stage, except for Lost Impact, the best stage, because the Gun members don't fight you in that one for some reason.
So I guess we end with Shadow on the control deck of the Ark, with his photo of the two other Robotniks, tossing it to the wind and leaving with a final dub fuck up, because SA2 translated Adios Shadow as Sayonara Shadow, which is fine, but this game decides to give us Goodbye Forever Shadow instead, which means they lose the synchronicity with SA2 again.
I was mostly just confused. It's like, why Goodbye Shadow? It's like, I don't
This
understand.
must have been.
Well, it was a callback.
That's what Maria says when she sends him to Earth. That's what Sonic says when he fake dies. So.
Right. So
I see.
This must have been a different company doing the localization or something.
It was different people, but yeah.
Different people, I guess.
Yeah, I said it before, but this was the moment where I was like, oh yeah, this game, Sonic Adventure 2 too, of course. I didn't realize it.
Yeah, kind of is.
We get a soft piano rendition of I Am All of Me.
Which is really tonal whiplash. Yeah, it is.
I didn't
It's
understand
real.
That. I was like, this is weird.
It's really fucking tonal whiplash.
It's okay. It's followed up by one of my favorite ending themes in this game, Crush 40, Never Turn Back, which is a fucking good song.
It is pretty good, yeah.
I wasn't sure at first. It started out, and I was like, I don't know, but they won me over. It was like, yeah, it's alright.
I don't have any complicated. It's a good Crush 40 song. So,
yeah.
Holy fuck, this game.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This game, I'm curious. To those of us who played Heroes, which is everyone but Matt, how are we feeling comparing this game to Heroes?
How can you compare it? They're very different.
This
is every game in one, and Heroes is just Heroes.
Right.
That is true. Because, like, on a purely basic gameplay point, because it shares its basic gameplay with Heroes.
Kind of.
Like, the running and jumping and...
Sure.
The physics are pretty close. It's clearly on the same engine.
And also because Heroes was our last 3D Sonic, I think.
Yeah, and it shares a lot of level design. I think, because I predicted after the Heroes video, because you guys all hated it so much, that everyone would like Shadow better except me, and then throughout this playthrough, I was like, am I also going to like Shadow better? And here at the end, with the knowledge that we would have had to have played twice as many stages, I think I subjectively like a lot of parts of this game better than Heroes, but Heroes' set of stages overall I still like more, and also the fact that I can play as Sonic.
I think for me, I'm kind of in the same boat, except I hated most of Heroes in general. So I think I do overall prefer this game, but in my notes,
unsure you are.
It's hard to make a definitive statement on that. But in my notes, I specifically state, basically, I do think this game is better than Heroes overall. But if Heroes is like a flaming pile of dog shit, Shadow is like a fresh pile of dog shit. Or maybe a turd that's been laying around for a little while.
Is that better?
I think so.
It's not on fire.
Yeah, it's not on fire. That's why I'm considering it better. It's a game. I will give it that much.
It's the game.
And I
never
want
the video
to play
game
it
of
again.
video games.
And I literally never want to play it again.
Clear Heroes, but it's not a good game either way. It is so...
here's the thing. I think even with the linear playthrough, I would still call it dog shit.
I'm not saying
but
it's good.
Flaming dog shit.
I'm just saying
the linear playthrough. So yeah, it would definitely clear Heroes. It would be like undigested dog shit. That doesn't make any sense.
Stomach acid.
So
I think for me this clears Heroes though.
It
Like,
does, but
I
like
couldn't get through
barely.
Heroes. I got through this, so it has to clear Heroes for me. But like both games aren't SA2, and I hate both of them.
That is also interesting because I was a lot more harsh on the adventure era than I think everyone else was. Or
Not
not
more than
adventure,
Sid.
but specifically. Well, no, but here's the thing: Sid at the end of the day still likes the games, and I
No,
mean specifically
not
Adventure
really.
1 and 2. I mean
I
specifically
like
Adventure 1
Radical
and 2.
Highway. I don't like the adventure games. I like
Ah,
Radical
okay.
Highway.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. But I also said like they're games that deserve remakes. I would put Shadow on the same front. Heroes, I would never put on the same front. I think Shadow deserves like a complete revamp. Give us a linear playthrough with none of the stupid fetch quest stuff or like scavenger hunt stuff.
I think at that
Like,
point it's just a whole different game, though.
yeah, maybe what I want is just a Shadow the Hedgehog 2 that's just like a good 3D platformer Sonic game.
We know that Shadow can work as a protagonist. We know that
Right,
there are
and
things about this game that could
yeah,
work,
well,
and we want to see
and
those brought out.
I will give this game credit. It did kind of make me like Shadow. I already liked Shadow from SA2. It kind of made me like him more. And I don't know if I want to give the game credit for that. I think I just liked Shadow already.
Yeah.
Very fair assessment, I must say. First of all, I respect your opinion completely. I definitely don't like both games. However, I do actually think, surprisingly, I'm gonna have to say I think I liked Heroes more. This game is
That's
it's
interesting.
just too much, man. I am ranking them as Sonic games. I should say
yeah.
not as games,
Oh,
but
sure,
as
yeah.
Sonic games specifically. It's easier that way.
Well, yeah, that way you don't have to compare every game ever made to Heroes.
True.
Well, every game ever made beats Heroes.
Shadow is just too all over the place.
That is fair, yeah.
Is bland. I don't like the forced into 3 character styles swap around madness.
But like at least it's just one video game.
But at least it's one video game.
Yeah, I mean that is a totally fair take.
Shadow, I
respect
can't
that.
stand all the different mission styles. Well, I might have a different opinion if I had to play Chaotix. It's very
True.
easy to encounter it in Shadow the Hedgehog, whereas that's one story mission out of 4 in Heroes.
I mean, that's
it's not
fair.
It's
Yeah.
not inherent. It's really an outlier.
Yeah, Heroes
Fair
is way
enough.
more cohesive.
Yeah.
I mean
Shadow,
that is definitely fair enough. I think I just struggled with Heroes so much that
This
I
game could have
can't
done
help.
almost anything.
Yeah, this game could have literally been staring at a blank whiteboard for like I don't even know how long my playthrough was. I'd guess probably about 10 hours, maybe less.
10 to 12, 10 to 15.
And I probably would have enjoyed it more than Heroes. Being better than Heroes was such a low bar. Shadow could have literally kicked me in the fucking nuts, and I probably would have preferred it.
So I think
that's very fair.
I think what we're hitting on is that this game is one of the most confused Sonic games ever made. Maybe one of the most confused games ever released. I'm not sure.
I would say it's just the most confused game I have played, just full
It's
stop.
definitely the most confused game I've ever played, because I feel like most games, even if they seem confused, they're confused on a different front than gameplay. This game is confused on a gameplay front, and that is the worst kind of confused a game can be.
Well, because
And that's why I've hammered the video game, the game thing so much.
Right. No,
because this does feel like it's doing everything.
It
all
does.
The time.
No, and you're completely right. This is video game the game. It is. Sonic Team was so confused what they wanted to do with the game and what they wanted Sonic to be in the future. They're like, fuck it, let's give it to Shadow and just fuck it up big time.
I have no doubt that you could mangle a lot of parts of this into a better game. Maybe even easier than like something like Project 06 does for 06. But as it stands, this game hurts me the most out of almost any 3D Sonic game, because I get so strongly the impression that they did have a focus at one point in development, and then stumbled so hard at every other step.
So I have to wonder, we've brought up before that the game was rushed. I have to wonder if maybe part of that wasn't, like before it had started being rushed, they had that slice of gameplay where you get a little bit of the entire game just by looking at the
It's a vertical slice.
Vertical
You get the
slice,
vertical
thank
slice.
you.
You get the minimum viable product. You get
Right.
your your
And you
idea
show
of,
that
like,
off.
what does this game look
And
like?
I'd want to see what the initial vertical slice for this game was. Like, was it as just as unfocused, or was it more focused in on we want this to be like action third person shooter? If it had focused more on the like combat and being like a semi action focused third person shooter instead of being a 3D platformer with shitty shooting, I might have actually legitimately enjoyed it.
It's the lack of identity and also the fact that it needs to overwhelm you at all times by making you do everything.
Yeah, we've said
And
before,
that's
it
our
is
feelings
game the
after
game.
having done half of it total.
Yeah, I can't even
Yeah.
imagine. Well, Matt is psychotic, and I respect him so much for
Yeah.
doing as much as he did. And in a second, I'm really curious to hear what your opinion on the game is. But it is. I think that's why we have harped so hard on video game the game. Sonic Team throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I kind
None
of feel
those
like
things
nothing's
were a good game.
nothing sticked. Everything slid off the wall, and they just shoveled it all into a GameCube disc.
So, what do you think of the game, Matt?
Yeah, I am very
no.
curious. Because
You have
were
concluding thoughts? I know it can be
Well-
complex.
well, so I know you were anticipating being
Here's
the
my
biggest
rant.
Shadow Defender of the five of us. I'm curious if
And
you
I
still
think that's true. I think
okay
that's true.
because you had the most
I think we've
experience with
talked about
it.
it. I think, like many of us, we all have a very special, like, childhood
Mm,
attachment to this game. It's like I grew up playing it, and there was something about Sonic, right, and something about Shadow that, like, seemed really cool and appealing, right?
sure.
And the game obviously has a lot of flaws, but I'm really glad that I played it though now, because
Mm,
it's one of those things, right, where it's kind of a funny thing, because it's like, realistically, I didn't have to play this game. I could have just been like, oh yeah, I played Shadow for a little bit. I never, but it's like an
right.
important thing that, like, no, I had to go back and, like, complete that bit of my childhood, right, that I didn't actually get to do.
That's
And
fair.
so
Yeah.
and so there is a lot of nostalgia in it, despite the fact that, like, how much of it is nostalgia, right? Because, I've only really seen, like, 4 of the levels out of the 35, as a kid, right? It's like I didn't
Mm,
see, like, Lava Shelter or, like, Final Hunt or, like, Lost Impact, right? You know what I mean? I never watched playthroughs, but, I still think that there's some good stuff hidden in all the bullshit, because there's a lot of bullshit in this game. I got pretty frustrated trying to get some of those A ranks. I mean, you try to get some of those A ranks and you get pretty personal with some of those levels at a certain point
well,
where you
how many
start
times I heard
get
you just
nitty-gritty.
yell B?
Oh yeah, no, you get so fucking pissed. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I swear I did that level perfectly, and it's like, nah, B rank.
Well, and
Right.
It's as bad as
that's
F rank.
part of the difficulty is that, like you say about digging through it all, it's not that there's nothing of value in this game.
No,
Sure.
there's some really
That's
cool stuff
that's
in
part
there.
of
There's
what makes
definitely
bad Sonic
there's
games.
definitely cool stuff in this game.
That's part of what makes bad Sonic games so compelling, is that, a lot of bad games are just disposable trash, and that's not what this is. It's not
No, it isn't.
disposable. It's
No,
really
there's-
hard to dissect why this is so
There's a
frustrating.
lot. There's a lot of cool. Well, maybe not a lot. There's definitely interesting stuff in here that maybe not a complete rebuilding of the game, but instead maybe a sequel that takes stuff.
Sure. I would argue, honestly, character action game.
Yeah, or
I'd
character
rather have
action
that,
game.
honestly. That would
Matt,
rock. I'd love that.
Matt, you're probably the one more likely to know what game I'm thinking of, or the title of. I know what game it is.
Uh-huh.
Platinum, like just after Bayonetta released, developed a third-person shooter. Do you
Vanquish.
know Vanquish? Thank you. I know that game's a little trashy, but a lot of people really like it. Something like that, because it's like a character action third-person shooter. I think something like that could really work
that
well
game.
for Shadow, or just go straight like Bayonetta or DMC.
Metal Gear Rising?
Or Metal Gear Rising.
Metal
Anything
Gear
like
Rising is
that.
the perfect example of the tone you'd want it to take. That self-serious
over the
but
top.
also completely fucking silly.
Yeah, something like that could work really well for a sequel to Shadow, or something you just say, you know what, the first Shadow game was shit, let's try it again.
Yeah, this is part of it, is that this game is hard to ignore because it is important to a lot of series continuity, and when I talk about
Right.
Sonic, I talk so much about the history and the development and the going from Sonic 1 to now, and this game is always sitting there right in the middle. It's not like 06 where it has a time distortion, and technically the first time you meet Silver is in Rivals. No, you have to talk about this game. And so I would love to see this game get reimagined as something else, but have roughly the same end point.
Throw Shadow and the general story of the game at another developer who knows their character action shit and just say, fix this.
Yeah. I think that's our ultimate thesis, is fix this.
Yeah, I think that's at least my ultimate thesis, is like, this game could have been so much better.
It's weird to be like, hey, Matt, do you like this game? And I'm like, It's like, I don't know, it was all right. It's like, obviously, anyone that listens to this is probably a Sonic nerd to some degree.
Sure.
So, you recommend it to them because they have to play it. I'm sorry. That's the rules. I don't make them.
No, I'd agree. This is definitely a game any Sonic fan should experience.
But, like, if you're not necessarily a Sonic fan and you don't have nostalgia for this game,
you have no reason to play it.
You really shouldn't play it, which really sucks, because it's like, again, it's like there is some cool stuff in the levels, but that could just be stuff that like other Sonic games do better. And what sucks about it though is that I'm drawn to Shadow though, because Shadow's cool.
Shadow is
it's
cool,
like Shadow's in like none of the games. Like, yes, he's in Adventure 2, but I'm not drawn to Adventure 2. I'm drawn to Shadow.
No, that's fair, and that is a fair reason to be drawn to this game initially. If you have no prior knowledge to it, is like you see Shadow, you're like, that guy looks fucking awesome. You're like, I want to be like him, and then you play it and you're like, wow, this was the game of all time.
Kind of a weird
all right.
game,
well, I think that we've been here a while now.
Opinion from Sid, and I missed it.
Game sucks. Don't play it.
Okay, thank you.
That's all we need to hear.
Oh,
don't squander our gift. Don't play it. We played this so you don't have to. Don't play it.
I despise this game's story.
This game's story, really.
I wish
this game has to be like Shadow, disoriented, and doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that it changed my perception of Shadow, because Shadow in this game is a total nut. He's not at all like he is in any of the other games.
He really is, and they just made him aggressively.
I'm gonna look at him different now when I see him in other media.
Oh, no.
Yeah, honestly,
it's the Shadow we were always meant to have.
He's hilarious, but no.
This is the real Shadow.
So you know what?
This is who I am.
I can, I can kind of put that off though, with the fact that this was Shadow. He still didn't have all of his memories, and they were like kind of.
Oh, it was all in his head.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about. Is that
But that means actually that this is Shadow in his purest state, if you think about it.
That is true. This is what Shadow would really be if he didn't control himself.
For as whack as this portrayal of Shadow is, it makes me appreciate that he's frankly in a better place than he could be in the modern games, where he's just kind of grumpy.
I'd prefer grumpy Shadow over absolutely psychotic Shadow.
We don't get edgy Shadow anymore, though.
Yeah, we don't really get a whole lot of Shadow anymore either way.
Yeah, he's hilarious, but this game is bad, its story is bad. There are pieces of cool things in both, but ultimately, it is not something that anybody should play for a very long amount of time, or potentially at all. Well, we have more bad Sonic in the pipeline, so I am going to go ahead, and I think I should cut it here. Is that okay? Can I do that, please?
I'd say it is.
Go for it.
All right. Yeah. Well, that is Shadow the Hedgehog. It is over. Video games are not quite over for this era. We will have Sonic Riders for you next time. But that is the final platformer of the adventure era, and it means that it is going to be a while, because Sid, we will not see again until Generations, probably?
Yeah, probably.
Unless you really want to play, like, Black Knight or something, I don't know.
I'm considering out till Generations.
Alright, we'll see you in Generations, Sid. Matt, you are welcome to join us for anything else, I guess, if you want. I haven't asked you yet, but, whatever you feel like.
For sure.
You'll
see even less of me, though. I'm the wild card, though. You'll never know.
Alright.
You'll show up on just random games.
For the rest of our viewers,
random issue.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this odd journey of guns, swearing, and questionable level design. and we will see you next time. If you like this video, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to find us anywhere else for criticism, comments, questions, and feedback, we have a link tree with all of our links in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great week, have a great night, and take care.